Tech. It's expensive, so it better yield results, especially when I'm traveling for work like I am right now. But beyond yielding client results, size and weight are a consideration too to enable carry-on only packing. So in this video, I'll break down my entire tech stack that I bring on this half-year work trip, constantly cloud hopping back and forth between 4 countries across all 3 buckets of tech. Kicking things off with the work bucket, in order for this whole thing to even make sense, I've got to start with something that's not even tech, my work bag. And I start with the bag because of course it's got to fit and protect everything, not the least of which is the most important piece of tech for work, my computer. After nearly 5 years, I recently made a gigantic upgrade from my first generation 13-inch M1 MacBook Air to this much newer 14-inch M4 MacBook Pro. And as you can see, it does indeed slide into the very padded protective sleeve of that bag. Now, between and outside of meetings, I spend a non-insignificant amount of time at cafes, and having made the swap from a 5-year-old computer, man, it's awesome to have true all-day battery again. And for context, my work is split between a lot of Zoom video calls and other power-hungry apps like AutoCAD, Notion, and the Adobe Creative Suite. So being able to spend an entire workday out and trusting that I'm not limited by compute nor juice is awesome. Next is an absolute necessity for most, the phone. And I gotta say, the week before I left on this trip was an expensive one because I also replaced my iPhone 13 with the 17. For better or worse, what ties it all together are these AirPod Pros. Whether it's the endless stream of Zoom calls or drowning out the background with the insanely good active noise cancellation. But a problem? AirPods are shockingly expensive, and yet the seamless audio handoff between my devices is unmatched. From listening to a YouTube video I'm editing on my MacBook, then hopping over to an incoming call on my phone, then back to Final Cut's audio the moment the call ends, it's an unrivaled user experience. Not to mention, for earbuds, the sound quality really is good. And these are all the items I need in terms of tech for work to keep earning a living. Just 3 things. The next bucket of tech that always travels with me is camera stuff. I mean, making YouTube videos is a hobby I absolutely love. And although my real job and the accountability I have to it obviously takes priority, every year throughout this 5 to 6 month trip, I still love uploading as much as I can. But to keep things as lightweight and as compact as possible, my main camera is the Sony A6700, and the only lenses I fly with are Sony's 11mm f1.8 and the 18-135 kit lens, neither of which are anywhere near the best in image nor build quality. But let's face it, I'm not trying to win an Oscar here. They both are, however, both small and lightweight. And this setup lets me capture what I need, with the 11mm allowing for wide-angle shots, especially useful when filming in small spaces, and is great for low light performance with a max aperture of f1.8. The insane zoom range of the 18-135 covers everything else I might need to film. For stability, the only tripod-like thing I pack is this tiny PGY-Tech Mantis pod. The beauty of it being that generally speaking, no matter where I am, I can find a solid elevated surface almost anywhere. And if that fails, I can find a hook-on point where the Mantis pod can anchor to any vertical thin edge, making the whole world a tripod, and it's really interesting to walk around and find so many places to secure this setup too. Next is something that anyone who makes video learns really quickly, and it's that audio is more important than video. And for the past 4 or 5 years, audio while traveling has come from the Rode Wireless Go version 2s. Wireless receiver plugs into the 3.5mm jack on the camera, while the lav gets clipped to my shirt on the mic end and plugged into the transmitter that goes into my pocket, and it sends great audio directly to the receiver and into the camera. There's a much newer version called the Rode Wireless Pro, and an acquaintance here in Taipei was kind enough to let me test them out. But again, I'm not trying to win an Oscar here, so until the Wireless Go 2s break on me, I'm not upgrading. But if I didn't have any audio solution and were in the market, it'd be a non-decision. Definitely would get the Wireless Pros. For me, my Wireless Go 2s just hang out in this small pouch, and I have another equally small pouch to store my spare main camera batteries by Neewer. And going back to my personal item bag, you can see that the camera, extra lens, Mantis pod, and wireless mics all fit. And most importantly, benefit from the fact that there's padding around the entire bag, not just where the laptop sleeve is in the back. And combine that with a very water-resistant X-Pack outer and AquaGuard zippers, means that even in the rain, I'm confident that all this expensive stuff is as safe as it can be. Next, if you're curious about how I got those POV shots with both hands being occupied and in frame, that's all made possible by the newest addition to my kit, the DJI Osmo Nano. Just look at this adorable thing. A separating monitor and camera module means POV filming is as inconspicuous as it gets. Since I have this Beetle clip by PGY-Tech permanently attached to the webbing on the strap of my computer bag, this ArcoSwiss compatible action cam ball joint mount slotted into the clip, and can lock the tiny camera portion in, making chest height POV shots a cinch. And like everything else in the video, you can can find those mounting solutions linked down in the description in case you want to research them more for yourself. With this long-term Airbnb in Taipei as my home base for the 6 months I spend on the other side of the globe every year, this right here is everything I pack for potentially filming for YouTube when I fly to my frequent shorter client and vendor trips throughout Asia. And since my personal item bag can accommodate all of this, it means my main carry-on backpack can comfortably store all my clothes, toiletries, and miscellaneous things. So we've checked off the real job work bucket and the YouTube camera gear bucket, which means all that's left is the support tech bucket. First up, we've got my electric toothbrush. Just a generic one I found on Amazon, which I love because it too is USB Type-C rechargeable. And I especially love the case that it comes with, where I can store an extra brush head. And since I typically change my toothbrush head every 3 months, and since my annual work trip is between 5 and 6 months, bringing just one extra head is all I need, and it being all contained in one case is great. Next is my new travel flashlight, the Nightcore TUP2, which I actually got here in Taipei. It unnecessarily replaces the T4K I've used for a few years, but I mean, I love all things EDC, and I really like this striking orange, and it doubles as my keychain whether for the keys here at my Airbnb or when I rent a scooter. And of course, has its main function as a compact yet super powerful and versatile flashlight. The next piece of support tech is my power bank, the Nightcore NB10K, which I've been using for over 4 years and it's still going strong. Not much to say other than the fact that when traveling, if I use Google Maps for navigation, it can drain my phone's battery way faster when I'm on home turf. And even though I don't need to use it that often because of how slim and lightweight it is while still having 10,000 milliamp hours of juice, I carry it everywhere I go just in case. And hey, on the off chance a workday goes for longer than 8 or 9 hours, can even help top up my MacBook too. And this leads us to perhaps the most important anchoring part of all of this, the entire charging setup, since obviously our tech needs to get charged. I've got a pretty standard GAN PD-enabled universal adapter to fit into the wall, but I don't really care about internal wattage, since I use this 200-watt charging hub and a slew of PD-enabled high wattage cables. And now, especially after upgrading the iPhone 13 to the 17, means finally, I no longer need to pack a proprietary lightning cable. All of my PD-enabled high-throughput Type-C cables means that I've got one central hub to charge everything that needs charging. Whether it's just this, these, those, heck, even those newer batteries for my main camera have a Type-C port on them for direct charging. So I can charge one battery directly plugging in the camera and both spares at the same time if I had a particularly explorative day with tons of filming. Now before moving on, as usual with all my videos that feature physical things, although everything is linked below, please don't make knee-jerk purchases, since your needs and mine are obviously at least a bit different, if not very different. I mean, the goal of most of my videos has much less to do with the physical products, and much more to do with sharing my thought process and building out systems. But speaking of systems, the system of charging modern tech is not as straightforward as simply buying a hub and cables. And in fact, it's something most folks get wrong, whether at home or when traveling. And if you want to ensure you understand the ins and outs of charging your tech in the simplest way possible once and for all, you will definitely want to watch this video right up here. If, however, you want to see in field my entire carry-on travel setup in action, this video down here is the one for you. I'll leave them both on screen for a few seconds so you can choose which one to watch next, but while you're deciding, if you got value from this video, consider subscribing and hitting that bell so you'll be notified the moment new videos just like this one drop.